Welcome to the Best Things Podcast. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials at Best Things Pod as well. Now, here are your hosts, Craig and Aaron.
Hello, Internet. Welcome in to the Best Things Podcast. My name is Craig. His name is Aaron. Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy New Year, 2024. Did you ever think you'd live to see the day?
2024. Well, yeah, I did.
You at least hope you did.
Exactly. Yep.
I think about this every year, every New Year. When I was a kid, you have no semblance of time when you're young, And so I remember thinking 2000, everything was 2000, everything was futuristic, was 2000 something. And now here we are 24 years after that. All the movies that we watched as a kid where it talked about the future are now their future is in our past.
And boy, did they get a lot of it wrong.
They got a lot wrong.
What was the best thing of 2023 for you?
I mean, it would have to be the birth of my daughter.
I thought I might stump you there. I thought I might get you.
No, was that not the best thing of your 2023?
My son was born in 2022.
I know. But I momentarily forgot that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, you did. I was thinking the other night, Harrison is 12 months old.
That's true.
He has seen 2022, 2023, and now 2024.
Wow.
It's crazy. Uh-huh.
He probably didn't see much of 2022. His eyes were closed a lot, but
they were.
Those moments.
Highlight of 2023. How about the Rangers winning the World Series for me?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
For you.
For me.
Yeah.
That's one of my highlights.
That's the only sports highlight for the year.
Yes.
We beat Duke again. The Razorbacks did.
Yeah. That was a highlight for sure.
There was 2023. I don't know if this was this way for you guys. It just flew by.
It was fast.
I don't even remember half of it.
I don't either.
It's just you blink and it was a new year. I anticipate this year will be just as fast.
The first birthday, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Ours is coming up in a couple of months.
So you had first Christmas.
First Christmas, yeah.
All of those things.
That was fun. We got to, do the whole gift thing with her, not understanding what in the world's going on.
More interested in the paper.
Yeah.
And
which, it's funny. There was, I don't know, we may have more Christmases to go through than you do just because we have all these different families. But by the end of it, she was kind of over it. She was kind of just done. She's like, you keep having me do the same thing over and over again. I'm kind of over it. We were enjoying it though.
Oh yeah,
we were having fun
for sure.
And all the grandparents, are just eating it up. Today, speaking of the years, Aaron, would you say 2024 is the sequel to 2023?
Ooh. It does follow 2023.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a continuation, though, of 2023?
Or is it a reboot? Lord, let's hope it's not a reboot.
Yeah, I heard that it's a reboot of 2020.
Oh, really? Who's saying that?
I don't know.
In what context? Like, are we having another pandemic happening?
Pandemic?
Again? What pandemic? What are we going to have? Is monkeypox coming back?
There's some sort of
the plague
thing. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. It's also an election year.
That's true.
Things never go wrong in election years.
Oh yeah, no,
so,
never.
Buckle up for that
never
one.
Never one time happened. I'm sure this will be fine. I just finished my annual election cycle watching of The West Wing again.
Oh
yeah, I did it early this year because I guess in my mind I'm like, well, they've started campaigning. I might as well start watching it. Today, guys, we are talking about movie sequels. This is something we've had on the board for a minute now, and we love talking about movies. And so today we're going to be talking about the best movie sequels. And so if you're brand new to the podcast and you've made it 5 minutes into our banter, basically what we do is we're going to spend some time talking about it, and then we're going to bracket it out at the end to determine once and for all what the best movie sequel is of all time. We were pretty much off for the month of December. I mean, we both just said it, first Christmas here, technically second Christmas.
Right. Felt more like the first one.
And so lots of family stuff and lots of just stuff going on.
Yeah, it was hard to get recording.
Very busy season. So we're back in it again. And are you ready to dive into the world of sequels?
Let's jump. let's hop. I don't know. What are we doing in 2024?
As Stephen Curtis Chapman once said, I'm diving in. I'm going deep.
There we go.
Over my head.
Before we can figure out the best thing, we have to talk about all the things. It's time for The Thing About the Things.
That Stephen Curtis Chapman song was a bop back in the day. It was a certified banger.
He's still touring again.
Yeah, he's still,
isn't he?
He's still doing some stuff. He's still out there.
People are getting old.
People are getting old, man. It is weird to see all these people you grew up with, or these celebrities or figures that you remember seeing as a kid start to really age. But we're aging too.
Yeah,
aging. We're
not aged.
Well, I heard Asian.
Oh,
we're Asian too. No, we're aging. Okay, Aaron, you want to kick us off?
Okay, absolutely.
We don't have any kind of order. We're just gonna
no order, just random,
just rapid fire. Spitfire.
We're going to take 4 items each.
That's correct.
From this button right here by hitting the bell.
Yeah.
And with that sound, let me go ahead and just take one.
Okay.
I want to add it to the board. I want to start 2024 off right.
Coming in hot.
Let's see. I think I'm going number 1.
Whoa.
I'm going number 1. Put Top Gun Maverick up there.
Dadgummit. That was going to be one of my number ones for sure.
It is. We didn't necessarily say that we are talking sequels better than the originals, although that can fit into the context of the discussion.
That's probably going to end up being some of the top 8.
I think there's absolutely no... Is there anybody who would argue Top Gun is better than Top Gun Maverick?
I don't think so.
I went back and watched Top Gun after Top Gun Maverick.
Same here.
And it doesn't hold a candle.
It's good.
It's good.
But it's ridiculously slow once you watch it back.
The experience of Top Gun Maverick in the theater was one of the all-time best movie experiences.
Absolutely.
Just, I mean, I went and watched it twice in theater. I know people that went 3 and 4 times to watch it. There was just something, I don't know.
It was incredible. I mean, it paid a good homage to the original, but it moved the plot forward. It was a modern take. It had a great cast. And it did the same thing that the original Top Gun did, which was it made you feel like you're in the cockpit. Like it gave you that kind of dopamine, adrenaline boost, at least for a lot of us. But all the in-between fighting stuff was actually also good. The plot was also very well done.
Yes. I have it as a 10 out of 10 on my IMDb list.
Really? I don't know.
I don't have but a handful of 10 out of 10s. Maverick is one of them. It gets an 8.3 on IMDb. Boy, I think that ought to be bumped up a little bit.
Yeah, it does have an 8.
Watching,
I have it a 9.
Watching those scenes from behind the scenes footage.
Yeah.
Seeing how it was done.
They're flying the planes.
They were, and Tom Cruise he's still got it.
He does. He's absolutely still got it. The dude's how old? He's like 60?
Yeah.
60 something? And he still absolutely has it. And I like what they did with Val Kilmer.
Yes.
They did that tastefully.
Yes.
And they didn't shy away from it. And I think that was a really, really creative way and a great homage to him, because they could have easily left him out or had him as a figurehead or something in the background. But they brought him up front of the screen. And we got to say this, by the way, spoiler alerts for all these movies that we're going to talk. So if we mention a movie and you haven't seen it yet, you're going to get some spoilers. We're not saying spoiler alert every time.
No.
But it had a great cast. Miles Teller was really good in this, playing Rooster. Jennifer Connelly did a great job. John Hamm was really good in this as well.
He was.
Did a really good job. Glenn Powell. Man, Glenn Powell, I don't know him very well. I don't know a lot of stuff that he's in. This may be the only movie I know him in. But he has become this kind of rom-com-y heartthrob since this movie started or came out. Yeah, I mean, all the special effects, it was very little CGI, if I remember right. It was mostly practical.
Yeah.
So,
It was just phenomenal. Start to finish. Absolute thrill ride. On the edge of your seat.
mm-hmm.
Emotional roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
Especially there toward the end.
Yeah.
It was just...
think he's a goner, and he's not.
I mean, as soon as it was available to purchase the movie, I had to buy it. It's wonderful. The rewatchability of Top Gun Maverick is very high. Very high. Yeah.
Man, you came out strong. You came out super strong.
1-2 punch.
I don't know. I don't know what my number one's going to be, so I don't want you to take it, but I don't know what it's going to be yet. I am going to go ahead and take this one, though. I just don't know where I'm going to put it yet. Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yes.
I'm gonna tentatively put this. I'm gonna put it at 2 right now.
Yep. That's where I would say that it belongs.
I could easily see something, though. I mean, in my mind, the top 8 that I have in my mind, you could put them almost anywhere. If we'll have to see once this bracket gets filled out, but I think you could put a lot of them anywhere.
I have a concern that 8 spots is not enough for some of the great sequels that are there.
I agree. Something good is getting left out.
We may get to the end of it and be like, you know what? There's only 8 great sequels, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
We may have some buys. We may have to add a couple buys. Captain America: Winter Soldier. Let's try it again. Back up. Captain America: Winter Soldier is one of, to me, the better Marvel MCU movies that exist. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
It does not feel like your over-the-top superhero movie.
No.
It's almost like more of a spy thriller.
Yes, absolutely.
Where we have this hero who's trying to put this thing together as he goes throughout the whole... It's what, honestly, to me, it's what always made Batman films so good, is because Batman was known as a detective, and so he was trying to piece together this thing. It's what made the new Matt Reeves Batman so good.
Yes.
It's what made Christopher Nolan's Batman so good, is he's trying to figure this out. And in this movie, Winter Soldier, he's trying to piece this together. Plus, you've got this back and forth between Cap and Bucky, and there's this history, there's the amnesia side of it, there's this plot behind. I mean, it's just very, very, very well done.
I'm trying to get it. I saw it on this list from Rotten Tomatoes. They have the top 100 best sequels of all time according to the Tomato Meter.
Yeah.
And where did I see? I felt like it was way too low.
It has a 7.8 on Rotten or IMDb.
I've got it as an 8.
I've got it as an 8 also.
That's why I feel like it's a good 2 seed.
Yeah. Of course, you have all the characters you would expect: Chris Evans, Sam Jackson, Scarlett Johansson, Rob Redford, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, Kobe Smulders. Excuse me. All doing a great job. Haley Atwell comes in as Peggy Carter. A cameo by Stan Lee, of course.
Of course.
But you get into some areas of the MCU that you don't normally see. You would eventually learn to, but when this movie came out, you hadn't seen those areas yet. You know, the behind the scenes and the kind of the CIA-ish side of SHIELD and Marvel and stuff like that. And they did a really good job with it. And the action was great. It was a lot of hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, when you talk about sequels, this was a direct sequel to Captain America, the First Avenger. But, you know, and we talked about this before we hit record, like these Marvel movies, they all kind of follow in different timelines and they follow one another in release dates. So what's a sequel to what? So for the purposes of this podcast, we're talking like character, so this would go for the first Captain America. That first Captain America was much more, it was a little bit more campy. Of course, you're leaning toward, was it World War II or
Two.
one? So you're leaning into that. So it's like, here's our mascot for the war. And this one was definitely more gritty.
Gritty, yeah, that's a good word for it. Rotten Tomatoes has it as the 49th best sequel of all time.
Wow.
I feel, that breaks the top half because this is the top 100.
Yeah. It still feels a little low.
But I think that it should be quite a bit higher than 49th.
And I feel like we need to, and those, I don't know if this clip will make it to TikTok, but these are just two guys' opinions here, okay? And when I was going through these lists, there's a lot of these sequels I have not seen. There's a lot of these sequels I have not even seen the original one too.
Sure.
And so we're probably going to leave off something from somebody's list that they think is the greatest movie of all time. I'm sorry, we either haven't seen it or it just wasn't our cup of tea. We are, I would consider both of us average guys, just average movie watchers. We're not into the film and film noir and the intricate. No. We like some of that, but like for the most part, we like a good popcorn movie. We want to be entertained. We want to be invested. And so to see it at 49, that's why I'm not, you said it was 49 or 42?
49.
49. I'm not surprised because people putting that list together or the Rotten Tomatoes people, they're probably looking for different people most people are probably not going on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, your average person, and putting their scores on there. We're a little bit extra in that category. But you're super hardcore into every little plot line and detail and continuity and cinematography. Those people are. What else you got?
Well,
we're gonna keep the button magic rolling, or we want to take a break?
No, I'm taking the button.
Okay.
And I don't know what I want to take.
There's a lot of good ones.
But I think I know I can't go wrong by taking this.
No. Well, I don't know. I haven't heard you yet, but
I want Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back.
Well done, sir. Well done.
And I think I want it number 2.
Also well done.
I was not alive when The Empire Strikes Back came out.
That's a true story.
But big Star Wars fan. And I do remember seeing it for the first time, although you already kind of know the spoilers of the movie.
Right.
But when it originally came out, the follow-up of The Empire Strikes Back, the reaction from those who were just seeing it.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine?
Like, you're finding all of this out, about Darth and Luke and their relationship. You see the attack on. I just went blank. I have to look it up now. Anyway, all of these people are just discovering all of this. I mean, you're just learning the Star Wars universe.
When I think of I think when anybody thinks of Star Wars and the characters that go with Star Wars, this is where it started.
Yeah.
A New Hope, it was really focused in on Luke's story.
Yes.
It was Luke
it's
and
his
Obi-Wan.
origin.
Yeah. When you get to Empire, you're talking Yoda and Darth Vader and Boba Fett, and you just really are diving deep. You had Tatooine in the other one. You have what's it called? I can't remember. But you've got all these other characters really making their presence known. Han Solo and Princess Leia's relationship deepens there. You've just got a lot of other stuff happening in Star Wars that really begins. I think I'm trying to explain. A New Hope was groundbreaking, and Empire took it to like the stratosphere.
Oh yeah, it was the perfect sequel.
Yes,
and it's absolutely one of the top 8.
Absolutely,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that you could make the argument it is a top 4 sequel of all time. I mean, just the reaction that people had to this movie and the introduction, everything that it did.
Agree. Yeah, I mean,
I love Return of the Jedi.
You could make an argument it could go in a number 1 spot.
Yeah.
It would not.
Yeah.
If one of us said that goes in a number 1 spot, I don't think I would be mad at it at all.
No. But you have, I feel like things like Maverick, the reception that it had as the sequel, Empire Strikes Back, and maybe it especially because of what it did for the rest of the franchise. Mm-hmm. Top Gun Maverick's just sort of a bow on one story. It's not like there's a franchise that's going to follow this. I
hope not. Well, I would love to see it, but like, I don't want
done right.
I don't want them to tarnish it.
Right.
It ended so well.
But Empire Strikes Back was absolutely the film of the Star Wars franchise that I think really hooked people.
Well, because you had that plot point, that twist. And again, we're spoiling stuff. When you find out Darth is Luke's father, and just that moment.
Well, it's one of the that's got to be maybe the most quoted line from the entire franchise.
Misquoted,
yes.
But yeah, I mean, that scene of him hanging off, is iconic. I mean, hang it in the Louvre, it is.
Oh yeah,
legendary. And so,
this is where I say, otherwise this just becomes a Star Wars podcast, and maybe we've never done a Star Wars podcast. I don't think we
haven't. No.
Maybe Star Wars Day this year. We need to work in a Star Wars episode.
We're gonna do that
because I feel like there's some good Star Wars movies that may get left out.
Oh yeah.
If you're a fan of the franchise,
right?
You could easily put another 1 or 2 Star Wars films, I think, into this list as sequels.
The Last Jedi is just fantastic.
You remember that thing we talked about where we were talking about doing a worst episode?
Yeah.
There's also room to talk about some of the worst.
The Last Jedi, Jurassic World 3.
2020 to 2023 has seen some really bad sequels and remakes and things like that.
It's reminiscent of the 90s sequels because there was a lot of bad ones that they were just cash grabs. Okay, well, man, if you're going to keep bringing heavy hitters, I'm going to bring a heavy hitter back with it.
Okay.
I'm going to go Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
And am I allowed, can I tie Endgame in with it? Can I make that a twofer?
I mean, it feels like it was the second part.
Yeah. It was just but that's what a sequel is. It's a second part.
It felt like there was just this intermission.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And that was the back half of the movie.
Yeah. I mean,
it's all one story.
If I have to pick one, I'm picking Infinity War. And I've said this on the pod before. I think Infinity War might be the superior movie just because of it has a richer and deeper plot for me. And I love the way it ends on that cliffhanger. It ends with defeat. Superhero movies don't do that.
Yeah, it was. And again, you talk about reaction. This was what I was alive for.
Yeah, exactly.
So watching the immediate reaction of people after the snap.
Yes.
Just people on social media just going absolutely nuts.
It's just wild. And then with Endgame, seeing them all come back.
Oh, man.
I still go online every couple of months and watch those reaction videos where I'm seeing Cap up there and you hear On Your Left and just the theater just losing their minds.
Oh, man.
It is just those kinds of experiences, man. That's what, when they were talking about getting rid of theaters, like the end of the movie theater, I'm like, please no. Maybe for, Trolls 3, that's fine. Straight to streaming. But you can't take away that experience.
I mean, I just got goosebumps again thinking about the last half of Endgame.
Yeah. It's just so good. So, and when we talk about Avengers, okay, so if I'm permitted to do that, I'm going to put it.
Rotten Tomatoes puts Endgame at number 22.
I am really torn here because there's another one that I'm tempted to. I don't know. I'm gonna put it number 1 right now. I'm just gonna put Avengers there, and number 1 right now. And it could get beaten. It could be, some things could get shifted around. But when we talk about Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, we've talked about it already. Like just the theatrical moment that it was. But it was also the accumulation of 11 films at that point, a decade's worth of content.
You're deeply invested into the MCU here.
So all these characters that you have now watched for a decade, there were people that
you grew up with them.
Literally grew up with these characters. And credit Marvel, and we talked about this on our Marvel episode. Like Marvel did a fantastic job, and I think it's where DC really fumbled the ball. Marvel did a great job because they didn't have a choice when they started. They had to pick lesser known characters, and they had to give them this story. And because of that, I think they had a lot of freedom to do a lot of fun stuff with it. And we've seen that pay off. DC has not had that luxury. They took characters that were beloved for generations and are trying to do something new with it. And you're seeing with James Gunn, they're backtracking, yada, yada, yada. But you had become invested in the backstories of all these characters and the relationships that they had. And seeing Peter Parker, who people had now grown to love over the last couple of years, say, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Right.
That hurt.
Yeah.
You know? And I saw a theory online that no other character hurt. Everybody else just kind of, floated away. Peter Parker was the only one that hurt. And people were like, well, I wonder why that is. And they said it's because of his Spidey sense. Because he is more sensitive to all those other things outside, that he felt that more than most people, which I thought was an interesting take.
Okay, Rotten Tomatoes brings Infinity War in at number 72.
Travesty.
Endgame at 22. So they say Infinity War is 50 spots behind it.
Wow.
Based on its rating. I mean, it got an 85%, and Endgame, what did I say? Number 22, it received a 94% rating.
Interesting. I wonder why. I wonder why they're hating on it. Because to me, I like the setup more than I do. Now, I loved Endgame. I absolutely loved it. That's why I like tying them together. I don't like separating them because to me, you're right. They are two pieces of the same puzzle. Like they are 1A and 1B.
Are you a beginnings or an endings person?
I don't even know what that means.
Do you like beginnings better or endings?
I like both. You can't have one without the other.
You can make an argument for either one of them, though.
How? You can't. Now, I don't want to start something if I can't finish it, unless it's bad. But I don't want to know the ending before I watch the beginning either.
I would say...
I'm a completionist. Is that a thing?
And the reason I ask this is because these two films end the decade run that was this MCU. This part of the phase, what was it, phase 1?
No, they were into phase
2,
maybe even 3 by then.
Were they into phase 3 by then? So it wraps up this entire story arc, though.
Yes.
But Infinity War is the beginning of the finale. Endgame is the ending of the finale. Now, when I think of beginnings and endings, I like beginnings because everything's exciting. It's new. This is wonderful. Endings, I'm not an endings person. I hate the end of the holiday season. It's always discouraging, depressing. I'm always just really very disappointed when Christmas is over and New Year's is over and all of that. We talked in our months. I hate January. I hate February. I'm not.
Thought you were a beginnings person. That's the beginnings of the year.
I know, but it's depressing to go into this because the end of the best part of the year has just happened. The beginning of the holiday season is it. The Burr months, as we discussed in that episode. So endings, that's people dying. Their life is over.
Or coming back in this case.
So you got to decide.
I like I guess this is the reason I don't know that I can decide, because I do like both. I like, we've talked in several different episodes about different movies that are rewatchable, and the reason why they're so rewatchable is because you see stuff that you missed, but you can only see those things after you know the whole thing. So when you're rewatching Tenet, you have to know the ending in order to understand, when you rewatch it, all the stuff that happens in the rest of the movie.
That's true.
And so the same thing with Infinity War and Endgame. Like, I need to know, I want to be invested enough during the whole process to have that hit of dopamine when they come back at the end. I need to be invested. The reason I would say I would lean Infinity War over Endgame is because, I mean, like I said, the ending of Infinity War was just so unique and different. That doesn't happen. But in Endgame, you're going through 80% of the movie without a lot of these characters that you love, and you don't see them. You're going, the time travel aspect, some people really love it. Some people could do without it. Some people really hate it. But, it just felt like the whole movie was about going at about 60 miles an hour until it got to that final battle. Then it really cranked up. And so for me, that's the only reason I would lean Infinity War.
Okay, so you are taking Infinity War and not in. We're going to just do a single movie here.
If I got to take both, if I can take both, I'm taking both. If I got to pick one, I'm picking Infinity War.
Pick one.
Infinity War.
Okay. And you put it where?
See, if I'm doing both, I'm putting it number one. If I got to pick only one, then I might move it to 3.
Wow.
Or I might move Winter Soldier down. I'll figure that out later.
Okay. Then I'm going to continue the run here of just adding movies. A lot of times we talk about things and this is going to be the best 8, apparently. I guess at the end, we just go to honorable mentions.
I guess so, yeah.
And again, there's 2 more that I really want. And I'm going to take, I may be making a mistake here. I've got to take something, but I've got to play my opponent as well. Okay. Number 3.
This better be good. This is a lot of build-up.
Number 4.
Number 4.
And then
You're looking at the matchups, aren't you?
If I number 3. And then if I don't get what I want, the other one I can. Okay. Number 3.
Say any of these.
I want to add Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Good pick. That was on my list too. Would you say it's better than Raiders?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. I think it's close.
They're really close. All 3 of them are really close. The first 3. I'm not counting Crystal Skull and all that stuff.
Part of me wanted to put Dial of Destiny on here.
It was a redemptive movie for sure.
It helped save the Indy franchise, I think.
Absolutely right.
And I think it got a lot of hate. I didn't understand because I kept seeing so many people react to Dial of Destiny as, oh, this is a terrible film. And I just watched it recently as I didn't see it in theaters and I waited for it to hit streaming. So I just watched it in the last month. And I was very pleased.
Yeah, I was too.
With the send-off for Indy. But Last Crusade,
I mean,
it's
Sean Connery. Come on. That's all you need to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Steven Spielberg. And at some point, we have him on our list.
We do. And I'm really excited for that one.
And I think that there could be, to save time here, I think we could have a deeper discussion on Spielberg and his impact on films like this at that point.
I mean, it's another George Lucas is making his second appearance.
Yes.
Harrison Ford making his second appearance on this list.
It felt like Last Crusade, because Temple of Doom is the one that's my least favorite of the three.
Yeah. Agreed.
Last Crusade feels like it brings back some of those same things that were in Raiders.
Yeah.
And it's, in fact, where did I just see this? This one was very high on BuzzFeed. Maybe it was Rotten Tomatoes.
I didn't realize that was River Phoenix's young Indy in the movie.
Oh, I didn't either.
I mean, I loved the dynamic between Sean Connery and Harrison Ford's characters in that movie. That dynamic of father-son was just really, really, really good. And you had, what's his name?
Do you still like Raiders better than Last Crusade?
I would probably give it a little bit of the edge over Last Crusade. I think it's more just, that's the one I think I may watch the most.
The most?
And I think so I know it better.
I'm not convinced that I want to say this is better than the original, but as far as a sequel goes,
yeah, great sequel.
It's a great sequel.
Fantastic sequel.
It's very close though for me, and I go back and forth when I watch them on which one I like the best. Mm-hmm. They're very close to me. Though.
Sometimes it's just which one you've watched more recently.
Yeah, you have that recently bias. Okay, it comes in at 65 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Gets an 8.2 on IMDb.
I have it as a 9.
I gave it an 8. But again, I think I was ranking that or rating it after not seeing it for a while, just going back through and rating. Solid movie. Love it. Great. And I do wish, the whole Crystal Skull thing, they were trying to set up Shia LaBeouf as possibly Indiana's replacement. And it didn't work. And I would love to see more of these types of movies.
Yep.
I don't know that they can directly connect them, though. I think they would almost have to reboot it, don't you? If we wanted to see more of this. I mean, is there a path to connect? I mean, they connected Ghostbusters really well. And I didn't have that on this list, but we can mention that later. The all-female cast, not to be sexist or anything, but that was just not a good movie.
It wasn't a good movie.
The reboot that they did, or the newest sequel, Afterlife, was a great sequel. And they connected them really well. So they're transitioning to a new cast, but they connected it really well. And so I'm open to that idea. I don't think though that Dial of Destiny really did anything to connect them, did they? To create a continuation that could keep going?
You get the story of the daughter.
Right.
So do you follow her? I don't know. I think, though, that you would probably have to do a reboot on it.
You know what I could see them doing? Because you know who's having a moment right now. I don't think he was in Last Crusade. The kid, Short Round, who was in... was he in Temple of Doom? I don't know if he was in Temple of Doom or not. Let's see. I think he was. You know who I'm talking about? Short Round? The kid? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kehu Kwan. He's having a moment right now. He's in Loki. He was in Everything All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once. He's having a moment. He came back to acting, and he's been in everything.
Okay.
I could see maybe something to do with him in the future. I could see maybe them approaching him and saying, would you like to continue this legacy in some aspect? I don't know what he would do, but... And I'm not sure I don't even know if they kind of put a bow on his story if he just wasn't in the last one. But maybe they could go back and follow him. I don't know if he could have that Indiana Jones swagger, but maybe he teams up with somebody who does. I don't know. If you had to recast, if we were rebooting Indiana Jones, who's playing Indiana Jones right now?
John Krasinski.
Ooh. Do you think he's grizzled enough?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, he is Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
13 Hours.
Right.
He's done a lot of those.
I guess I don't. When I think of Indiana Jones, I think of a crotchety guy though, like a grizzly, crotchety. Just don't want to be here, angry at the world, grumpy old man kind of person. Because even in the earlier movies, Indiana Jones was kind of that way. Like he was so aggravated.
Cantankerous.
Yeah, he was aggravated at everybody for keep messing up his plan. I just don't see John Krasinski as that. Every other aspect I see.
Who do you see?
I don't know. That's just it. I don't know who it would be. Harrison Ford was just so iconic that I don't know who it would be.
Do you even dare reboot it?
Man, I don't know that you do. I don't know that anybody can touch it.
At least right now.
Yeah, give it 30 years.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This has got to be something like when we're old that it gets rebooted.
And then we get angry about it because we're old.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think you can reboot that right now for sure. It's got to be well after Harrison Ford has passed.
Agreed. He's getting up there.
He's up there.
I hate to say that, but he's getting up there. Okay, man. We've hit some heavy hitters. We only have... You've only got one
I got
left.
one spot.
I got two left. We're going to go ahead and get it out of the way.
Okay.
Because we know everybody's thinking about it. I know you've thought about it. You're probably just waiting on me to say it. We got to talk about The Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's where I was torn on the last one, wanting to take it. Figured it was have to be on your list for sure.
And I'm not sure. This is where I'm torn because I don't know where to put it. Because we labeled it the best Christopher Nolan movie. It's been the best Batman. It's been the best of so many different things. I hate not putting it number one, and I think it's worthy of it. And I think
is it the best Batman sequel?
Yes. It's not close.
Well,
and I think I'm going to have to shift some things around. I hate dropping Winter Soldier down, though.
The Dark Knight comes in at number 25 on Rotten Tomatoes' top 100 sequels.
That seems like it's a little low. I'd have to look and see what they have above it, but I got to shift some things around, and I'm going to just bump everything down one. I got to put The Dark Knight number one.
Is The Dark Knight better than Batman Returns?
Yes. Absolutely. Do you think it's not?
I didn't say that.
The look on your face
I'm just
says otherwise.
Thinking through if it's better. I remember seeing somebody earlier, and I thought I had it pulled up because I wanted to get your reaction to it. And I had to reboot my computer earlier, and I may have lost it. But one article had Batman Returns as the best sequel. Maybe this is it right here.
I don't know how you put that as the best sequel.
The high water mark of superhero films. This is from Variety.
Okay, I'm interested. I'm leaning in.
Everything about this sequel was done with utmost attention to detail. Take the intro. Instead of fixating on yet another origin story from the Cape Crusader, Tim Burton turns his lens into the film's villain.
Well, it's a sequel. You've already told his background story.
Let's see. Michael Keaton's Batman paired with Burton's world legitimized the whole operation. The cushion provided the previous film's 1989 Batman allowed audiences to really bask in the insanity of this production. And Batman Returns Gotham, a bomb could be a red and white twirling toy, but also actually almost kill Batman. A woman with cat ears is a perfectly stitched pleather suit can lick our hero's face and make it both weird and wildly sexy at the same time. This sequel houses career-making performances from Danny DeVito, Christopher Walken, and without a shred of doubt, Michelle Pfeiffer. She put a bird in her mouth and pretended to eat it like a cat. Anne Hathaway could never. Not only is this a great sequel, one might say it's even the greatest Batman movie ever made.
Yeah, I got a strong disagree on that. It's good. I think Batman, the original, is better than Returns.
You think Batman is better than Returns?
Yeah. I mean, I love DeVito. DeVito is Penguin to me. Like, all these other Penguins are fine. Now, Colin Farrell did a great job. I think he was a great Penguin. And he's getting his own series coming out soon. But to me, Danny DeVito is Penguin. Michelle Pfeiffer did a great job as Catwoman. But no, I think Dark Knight still. I'm taking Dark Knight. And listen, we hear you guys on TikTok. We've heard a lot of people say on TikTok, like, Dark Knight's overrated. You just like it because Heath Ledger died. No, it's objectionably a great movie. It is a fantastic top-tier film. And it's not just because of that tragedy. It's not just because of his performance had a lot to do with it. And that's one thing. Okay, soapbox time. You ready? Here we go. A lot of people say, hey, you just like the movie because of his performance. Well, guess what? He's in the movie. That's part of the movie.
The performances matter.
It's like, you just like the movie because of the writing and directing. Well, duh. Of course. That's the whole point. So I'm going to put it at number 1.
Okay.
And not feel bad about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You think it is, in your book, it's the greatest sequel of all time?
Well, I would have put Empire.
Okay.
I would have put Empire number 1, but you took it.
Okay.
So Dark Knight goes there for me.
Okay.
You gonna hit the button again? We're just gonna keep rolling.
It's my final spot, right?
Yeah, you got one left.
And this becomes very difficult, trying to figure out what I'm putting in that last spot.
I gotta eliminate some.
Do I go with what I like best? Do I go with what I know has a chance? What is it facing? It's facing the Dark Knight. It's not probably going to win. But what the heck? Let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can take down the Dark Knight.
Okay.
With a remake. Not a remake, with a different sequel.
I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. I'm waiting. Prepared my heart.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes! I'm so glad you said that because I was tempted to put that on my too. A lot of people don't know that's a sequel.
It is the best of the franchise.
Absolutely.
No,
hands down.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Christmas Vacation, absolutely the best of the entire franchise.
Rewatchability, obviously, is out of the park.
Every year.
I see people, every single year, I see people dressing as Cousin Eddie. I see, in fact, on TikTok, I saw so many people this year doing impressions of Aunt Bethany.
Yes.
I see stuff in the stores. Mm-hmm. You have Christmas Vacation stuff everywhere. Yep.
I have seen decorations of the electrified cat that you put next to your tree.
I don't know. Was the reception even as big? Was the movie as big then as it is now? I feel like it has just continued to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It is a probably top 10 Christmas movie, easily.
Yeah, it's got to be in your top 10. And it's one of those movies. It's funny enough. I feel like you can watch it in the middle of the year.
Yeah,
it's a funny movie. I saw videos, I guess, in the last year or so. Chevy Chase remonologued some of his dialogue.
He's getting old too.
Oh, he is.
He's getting old. All these guys, man, they're getting old. Yeah, this is, and again, there's a lot of people that don't realize Christmas Vacation is a sequel. That there was an original movie called just Vacation, and this came out as a sequel to that. And I think it's undoubtedly the best of the entire franchise. So quotable. His last rant, hallelujah.
Yes,
it's just so good.
Pass the Tylenol. Cousin Eddie.
We talked about it, I think, a couple years ago in our Christmas characters. Like, he was the best character of the entire movie.
Yeah.
Cousin Eddie is just, Randy Quaid just freaking crushed that role.
When he shows up standing by Clark.
Yes.
And Clark.
He doesn't put two and two together. It's great.
So I feel, I don't feel bad about putting Christmas Vacation there.
And you shouldn't.
There's a
lot of good ones.
Movies are getting left out that I think are viable.
I I agree, and I'm having a hard time figuring out what I mean, it's going up against Top Gun, so I don't think it's going to have a chance at all. Okay, instead of me saying one, can we talk through honorable mentions so I can wrap my head around?
Yep.
Like, just talk through other ones. What about? Okay, I'm just gonna get this out of the way real quick. Godfather 2 has been on every list.
Every list.
And it was incredible. I mean, it won 6 Oscars. The Godfather, I think, the original only won 2. It was the first sequel ever to win Best Picture. So it is a fantastic film. I'm going to be honest, though. I'm not a big Godfather fan.
No.
It is so slow.
I've tried, and it's... I can't. Mental Floss has it number 5.
Yeah.
Where did I see it on this list?
And I know
number 7
I'm not
from Rotten Tomatoes.
You can say what you want to. I don't know film. You're not very cultured. Whatever. I've tried many times to watch the franchise.
Yeah, like the question is, do you enjoy the movie?
I can't get through it.
I understand it's won the awards.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has the accolades. It has its following and its fans.
And I love the clips I'll see, like the certain clips I love. But when I try to sit down and watch the
Just
whole
as a
thing,
whole.
it's just really hard to get through. It's kind of like, trying to go back and watch Lord of the Rings. It's
Okay.
It's long. It's slow at times. It's hard to get back into it.
So Lord of the Rings has a couple of movies, different ones that I've seen on different lists. I've asked some different friends. They put this in there. I haven't ever been able to get through the first film. I've tried multiple times to get through the first film, and I can't. Somebody recently told me, you should watch The Hobbit because it's the prequel story, so maybe you can watch the prequel and get into it. So I have started The Hobbit.
Yeah, I haven't even watched that.
I'm about an hour into it so far.
I liked Lord of the Rings when I first watched it. I watched it in theaters and I was into the hype, but I've tried to go back and watch it since, and it's just tough to get through. So yeah, I mean, that's just personal. Again, we're two guys' personal opinions. You've got. Go ahead. You look like you're about to say something.
I see on many lists Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3.
Yeah, I had Toy Story 3 on my list too.
We talked about it recently. What episode was that? We did Pixar.
We did Pixar movies, and I had Toy Story 3 as one of my top ones for sure.
Mental Floss says Toy Story 2 comes in at number 9. Best sequels of all time, according to Rotten Tomatoes, Toy Story 2 is number 2 on their list. Toy Story 3 is number 5.
Yeah. So that tells, I mean, we talked about it at length. Toy Story just can't go wrong.
One that I am, I don't know if I've even seen it, but it's on every single list. Paddington 2.
Same.
Have you seen Paddington?
I haven't seen Paddington 1.
I have seen Paddington 1. I don't think I've ever seen Paddington 2, but it is so high on every list. It's number 1 on Rotten Tomatoes. It is, where's it at? Well, maybe they left it off of their list. Time has it on theirs. Variety has it on theirs.
Watch Mojo, I know, had it on theirs because I saw that earlier.
So
it's high on every list. It must be just.
I feel like I have to go watch Paddington 2 now.
Now, is it just that much better than the original, or is it just again, objectively fantastic film? I don't know because we haven't seen it, but it has. It's been on every single list. I don't know the plot. I don't know who's in it. I don't even remember it coming out.
Paddington, now happily settled with the Brown family.
I thought you were going to say a happily single bear.
And a popular member of the local community picks up a series of odd jobs to buy the perfect present for his Aunt Lucy's 100th birthday, only for the gift to be stolen.
Wow.
Wait, I feel like I have seen Paddington 2. It gets a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Maybe I haven't seen it.
I know I haven't seen it.
Yeah, the more I see of this trailer, I don't think I have, but it has, let's see, who's in it?
Probably a bunch of people you don't know, and probably a lot of British actors.
Yeah. I don't know these people.
We also have like a slew. I mean, of course, there's a slew of superhero sequels. I'm just gonna rattle off a few. Spider-Man 2
With Tobey Maguire?
was probably the better of that franchise.
It was.
Thor Ragnarok, hands down the best of the Thor movies. funny, action packed.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
got Krog. Hey guys. Logan. It's probably the best of the Wolverine movies. So you've got a lot of superhero movies, obviously, that have a lot of sequels.
Terminator 2, I've seen on a lot of lists.
A lot of lists
I
there,
think
too.
it may have been better than the
I
original.
think so.
Here's the other one I was struggling. I had Christmas Vacation and Home Alone 2.
Home Alone 2 is very good.
I love Home Alone 2.
Lauren often says she likes it.
I
It's
like it
right there
better.
beside. You like it better?
I like it better. I think it's funnier. I like it better than number one.
I think I still like number 1 better. I will say the pacing is a little bit better in 2, but I think I'm
and
a
another
sucker
one,
for
this one I wanted to put on my list. It would not be on anybody else's list. But for me,
National Treasure 2.
National Treasure 2 would go on my list.
Me and Lauren watched National Treasure the other day, the first time in a while.
When it comes to rewatchability, those two movies, I watch them.
What about Rush Hour 2?
I don't think I've ever
were you
seen
into
it.
the Rush Hour movies? Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan. I saw that on somebody's list and was like, I got to put that at least as a mention because it's good. Okay, I think I've made my decision on 4.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, I'm holding.
How about Skyfall? Is that it?
That was right here.
Oh.
That was what I was going to mention.
Okay.
Skyfall. You could go down a whole list of James Bond movies. Goldfinger,
Yes.
Casino Road, No Time to Die. There's so many good ones. But Skyfall, I think, Spectre was also very good, but Skyfall is the best Daniel Craig
It's the best of the Craig.
for sure.
Bonds.
Better than any Pierce Brosnan.
I think Pierce Brosnan was overrated as Bond.
I absolutely agree. We need to do a whole Bond episode.
Although I would probably put him ahead of Roger Moore. I didn't like Roger Moore.
Roger Moore, yeah.
To
Connery,
me, Bond is Connery and Craig.
that's absolutely
Those
right.
two guys. You had a couple other oddballs that may have
Kinda
been
one-offs,
for,
yeah. But Skyfall was just top to bottom. It was. I remember leaving that theater going, "My gosh, that was a good movie."
I had this discussion last week, and I have some friends that are. One of my friends has never seen any James Bond movie.
Oh, really?
And a couple of the others of us have tried over the last year to get him to watch some of them. And there was a deal last week. I think like the Daniel Craig collection was on sale pretty cheap. So we were trying to convince him to buy those and watch some of the Craig films. He likes action movies. He thinks John Wick is one of the greatest franchises of all time. So I went and watched John Wick finally a couple of in the last year. And it's got a lot of action in it. The storyline is terrible to John Wick.
Thank you.
It is nothing but just shooting. So yeah, if you like that, yeah, it's got a lot of CGI and stunts and all of this killing and stuff in it. But the story itself, like you're not even invested. I thought it was awful.
I was about to hit the boo button. I am the black sheep in my family when it comes to John Wick. My brother, my dad, they love it. They think it's great. And I remember they hyped it up so much. This was back when the first John Wick was pretty new. And they hyped it up. And so I was like, okay, I'll watch it. It must be really good. I watched it. I'm like, he did all that for a puppy? Like, you're right. The story for me, I was just taken out of it.
And again, I know it has its major fans, and it's even got its own spinoff on like the what's it called?
Hotel?
The hotel
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. I just can't do it. The Bond franchise is
Way
so
better.
far superior
Absolutely.
in every way. You get the action, especially in these later Daniel Craig films.
Yeah.
Plus, you get the story with it.
Absolutely.
It is, and then I would say the Bourne series is better than John Wick.
Yeah. At least the first 3.
Like Bourne Ultimatum is a really good sequel.
Yeah. We even talked about those. Yeah, there's really good ones out there.
So I've seen John Wick. I think 4 came out in the last year or two.
Yeah.
And I watched it just to satisfy my friends. And it just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. I mean, if you love it, great. We don't want to yuck your yum, but like
It's just all action with no.
there's no depth. There's no plot depth to it. So yeah, Skyfall. Plus, Adele, the song from Adele. It's a
Yeah.
great song to start out with. Just the whole plot of Skyfall was just fantastic. We have our 8, Aaron, and I feel pretty good about it. I don't think we have any egregious ones left out.
I know a lot of people would say that we did not put any of the Harry Potter.
I've
not-
still not watched Harry Potter.
You know, I grew up, I was not allowed to watch Harry Potter in my home growing up. So finally, a couple years ago, I was like, I'm going to watch Harry Potter. And I don't feel like I missed anything in my childhood not having watched Harry Potter. Maybe if I had watched it as a kid, I'd have that attachment to it. But as a 34-year or 33-year-old, 32-year-old man going back to watch Harry Potter, it just didn't live up to the hype that I've heard from it. And it's not going to be on my list ever.
We saw something about Harry Potter a week or so ago, and I said, I mentioned to Lauren, I was like, I still have not seen that. And she goes, we had all the time in the world during COVID to watch it. We just never did. It just was not, high on my list to watch. But
I feel like, though, this is a wonderful time to talk about movies. It happens to be snowing outside of our
Yes.
But during the winter is just kind of a good time. Not a lot to do outside. So
it gets dark early, so you can just kind of, in our case, put the kid to bed and
put a movie,
attempt to watch a movie.
Exactly.
And you guys notoriously just don't finish it that night.
Yeah, like I said, I started The Hobbit about a week ago, and I've watched an hour of it, and I'll come back to the story again. I just break it up.
I just can't do it. It is so hard for me to do that. I just can't. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're gonna hold off on worsts.
Yep.
We want to do a full worst episode later. We're gonna try something with the worst things later on. We don't have any feedback. We have some feedback, but I'm just not going to wade through it. New year, we want to hear some of your feedback. So hit us up on all the socials, on the TikToks, on the stuff at Best Things Pod. I haven't even told you this yet. Our phone number 585-BESTIE-5. Don't call that number. Apparently, it has to be actively used to stay with it, because it was just a Google phone number, and since we were off for a while, it went away. We don't have that number anymore.
Okay. So you can't call us.
So you can't call us. But, I mean, you can... let me give you Aaron's number. You can just call him. So hit us up on the socials. That's where you want to hit us up. Or email feedback at bestthingspod.com. Ready to bracket?
Let's bracket.
Here we go.
If you want to be the best, you have to beat the rest. This is the Best Things Bracket.
We're sneaking up to March.
Gosh, we are.
We're going to hear that music soon.
Yeah, it's getting here fast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how this works, we're about to bracket out these top 8, and we're going to figure out once and for all which one is the best movie sequel of all time. We're going to give it a 3, 2, 1 count. If we agree, it moves on. If we disagree, we rate them 1 to 10, and highest score advances. Here we go.
Let me just, before you do this, are you certain that you want Skyfall at 4? I feel that's a tad bit disrespectful.
I do too,
4.
but I mean, it would be swapping Winter Soldier and it's going to lose no matter what.
We didn't even talk about Civil War. I don't think we discussed Civil War.
We didn't talk about Civil War.
It's also a very good.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I think I can swap either one of those, and I don't think it's gonna matter. Okay, here we go. Best movie sequel of all time. Round 1. Top Gun Maverick versus Skyfall. 3, 2, 1. Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick. And I hate that.
I do too. Still round 1. Empire Strikes Back versus Captain America Winter Soldier. 3, 2, 1. Empire.
And I hate that.
We're not going to be happy with hardly any of these, I think. The Dark Knight versus Christmas Vacation. 3, 2, 1.
Christmas
Dark Knight.
Vacation.
Are you serious? Okay.
Let me just attempt to make a case for it, because I feel like it deserves the chance.
Do you want to swap yours for Skyfall?
What?
Do you want to swap out Christmas Vacation to get Skyfall? It gives it a better chance.
Christmas Vacation might be one of the top 5 or 3 most quotable movies of all time. Dark Knight is not. Advantage Christmas Vacation and quotability. No.
Disagree
You can't
with
disagree with that. No way, no
Why
how.
so serious? Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Some good quotes, but not as quotable as Christmas Vacation.
I'm Batman.
Doesn't count. If we just went quote for quote for quote, I think the list is going to be much longer for Christmas Vacation. I think that's a check mark for Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
Secondly, we have put a seasonal movie that people only watch 1 month out of the year up against a movie that can be watched at any time. I think that speaks volumes for how great Christmas Vacation is.
Okay.
That's a check mark for it, right? Would you not agree with that?
No.
You don't think that is
No.
that doesn't carry some weight for Vacation?
No, that's like Tulane last year did not deserve to be in the national championship just because they were the best G5 school.
Wait, no. So you're saying that Christmas Vacation doesn't deserve to be on this list?
I say they deserve to be on the list, but not to. They
Okay,
deserve
so
where they are. The
then
4th, the 8th spot. They made it in. Congratulations, that's their win.
Ignore at the moment the movie that it's facing
Okay.
and just answer the
still
question
number
that
8.
I'm asking. Does the fact that we added a movie that is so seasonal not speak for the greatness of that movie compared to everything else that's on that list?
Agree. That's why it's number 8. It made it. That's its win. Congratulations, you made it to the dance, but you're going home.
That's why we're continuing to add quotability.
Okay. Congratulations, you're number 8. It's time to go home.
It has a bigger following today than The Dark Knight.
Would strongly disagree.
Okay, how many stores did we go in while we were Christmas shopping this year and see anything Dark Knight related, and how much Christmas Vacation stuff was on the shelves?
For a month out of the year, go in those same stores in February.
In February?
Yeah, any other month of the year.
Dark Knight's not going to be in there in February.
Yes, they are.
What?
You're going to see
I don't
Joker stuff. You're going to see Batman stuff. You're going to see
Okay, Batman's an entire franchise.
Okay.
Not just The Dark Knight.
check in his favor.
Sure.
We got to go to the card. We got to go to the numbers. Dark Knight 1 to 10. 3, 2, 1, 9. What?
I'm trying to...
You're looking up your IMDb's?
Yeah. I'll go off of it. That's fine with me.
Okay.
Christmas Vacation gets a 7.
This is just going to decide. I'm not even going to vote.
And I gave it 10 to The Dark Knight.
You just wanted to fight for it.
I felt like it needed that.
Dark Knight advances. All right, Avengers: Infinity War versus The Last Crusade. I still wish those were together, Infinity War and Endgame, but we digress. All right, Avengers versus Last Crusade 3.
Don't allow recency bias to fog your mind.
Okay, I will not. 3, 2, 1. Avengers.
Infinity War. Yeah. When did you watch Last Crusade last?
It's been a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that you should rewatch it.
I do need to. I want to watch. Right after I watched Dial of Destiny, I was like, I need to go back and just watch them all
whole-
straight through.
yeah.
Because I do that with Marvel movies a lot. I'll do that with other Star Wars. I need to do it with some other franchises as
Because
well.
my concern is we've got so many new films that are up here on this
Agree.
list that
Agree.
we're potentially doing a disservice to some of the all-time classics.
But in their credit, these 3 the new ones that have come out. I mean, Dark Knight now is
12
years old?
2008.
yeah, it's getting up there. But they did a good job. You just can't deny it. Okay, Top Gun Maverick versus Empire Strikes Back. Whew. 3.
So this is my movies,
Yeah, these are your 2.
and your 2 are at the bottom.
Okay.
Look at that. Wow.
Tell you what, we'll tie break. No, we just need to keep our normal format.
Yeah, just keep the format.
Maverick versus Empire. 3, 2, 1. Empire.
Maverick.
Okay. Top Gun Maverick.
Why Empire over Maverick? Because I can easily be swayed.
I think it's just when I think of Star Wars, everything stemmed from Empire for me. And I think that set up this entire universe. Whereas, like you said, Maverick just kind of puts a bow on it. Maverick's incredible. And just like you were saying with Avengers, I'm trying not to let recency bias take over. And I think Empire is probably just so iconic and so classic. I think in the long term, Empire will still be strong. Maverick will be good, but I don't think it will be as strong as Empire.
Yeah. Let's move Empire ahead.
Okay.
Like I said, I love both of them.
That's the
And I was very torn.
That's the rare Craig getting Aaron over his side.
Yeah,
that never happens. I'm not used to it in my marriage either, in my family. Dark Knight versus Avengers. 3, 2, 1.
Avengers.
Dark Knight. Okay, Dark Knight 1 to 10. 3, 2, 1, 9.
10.
So it gives it 19. Avengers 3, 2, 1,
10.
9. Gives it 19.
I just went off my IMDb ratings.
Oh,
I've got them both as 10s.
Okay, hold on. Let me do that. Let me do that.
Yeah, see if you have them ranked. I don't know what else I can do. They're both fantastic movies. I think that the cliffhanger, the ending, the way that Avengers was set up gives it that advantage over Dark Knight.
Okay. Hey, Apple Pencil.
You've got Dark Knight as a 10 as well.
I do. That gives it a 20. Infinity War.
Come on, be a perfect score.
Da, 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 da. Wow. 9! Dark Knight.
Why do you have that as a 9?
I don't know.
After your entire setup and talk on this podcast, I would need to see what else you have ranked as a 10 because I feel like Infinity War might be underranked there at a 9.
It might be. We digress. Empire Strikes Back versus The Dark Knight. I think this is a worthy matchup for the final.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. Empire Strikes Back versus Dark Knight. 3, 2, 1. The Dark
Empire.
Knight. Okay. Empire Strikes Back. Oops. Sorry for the dead air for a second. I'm typing. I don't know if you are. I'm trying to do it with my left hand. That's not working very well. All right. Empire 3, 2, 1, 8.
9.
Dark Knight 3, 2, 1,
10.
10. Dark Knight. Congratulations.
I'm not super happy about this.
I do too.
I don't know. Mental Floss has Dark Knight number 1 and Empire Strikes Back number 3.
Wow, so we're not far off.
We're not far off. They had Terminator 2 number 2. Which one's better than the original? Would you say either of them are better than the original?
Yes. I would say they're both better than
Empire is better than A New Hope.
I think they're both better.
Dark
than the
Knight
original.
is better than Batman Begins.
I think the gap is bigger with Empire though.
Yeah.
Batman Begins is a really solid movie.
Yeah. It
and
is.
I think New Hope is a really solid movie too, but I think Empire takes such a big leap.
That's why I would say it's the better sequel.
Okay, let's do this. We're gonna retroactively go back here. Let's not go IMDb.
Okay.
Let's go just gut.
Yeah.
Empire 3, 2, 1, 9.
Yeah, 9.
And then Dark Knight 3, 2, 1, 9.
8.
So that would give Empire,
Just based on that.
just based on your gut reaction. I feel good about that.
I think that's the right. That's Yeah, we got it right that time.
And I think the reason why is because we were talking overall movies. This is sequels.
Yes.
And I think there has to be some distinction there.
Yes.
Because I think The Dark Knight is a better movie
Yes.
because it's got better effects. It's got better, it's got, but you also have 30 years more experience in filmmaking.
Yes.
And
once again, everything that you mentioned about what the groundwork that Empire laid moving forward for the franchise can't be discounted either.
right.
We were going to see more Batman movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a given. It was going to happen.
It's a great movie, but Batman Begins is also a good movie. I didn't even look at my ranking on it, but I love Batman Begins.
I do too, yeah.
But the difference between New Hope and Empire, I think, is a bigger gap than it is between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
Agree.
And then everything that that Empire Strikes Back did for
Absolutely agree.
that franchise.
I feel good. I feel good about it. I'm happy with it. We have a decision to make now, though.
It may be the best thing today, but is it the best thing of all time? It's time for the best thing battle.
We have The Empire Strikes Back versus a Baconator. Now, what's funny is I went back and listened to the end of our Wendy's episode, which, by the way, this is episode 101. And because it had been like a month or so, I was like, well, how did we end it? Who won? And it's funny because we said Baconator's not going to last very long because we have Christmas stuff coming up. Well, it bypassed. He got away with it. He got away with murder here.
And I hate that we didn't get some Christmas stuff in because we had talked about some Christmas episodes. Man, I just hate. I guess we'll try to get it in this year.
We'll do it. We'll do a Christmas in July just for you. How about
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we have Baconator as the best thing from Wendy's versus The Empire Strikes Back, which is the best sequel. Which one of these is just the best thing? You can only have one of these. Which one are you having? In 3, 2, 1.
Empire Strikes Back.
Nope, that's the wrong. There we go. Empire Strikes Back, new champion, absolutely. Yeah, we knew Baconator wasn't going to last very long. It's a bacon burger. I mean, it's delicious. This is the best thing at Wendy's, but it doesn't beat.
And if it goes away, every other restaurant has a bacon burger. You can go find a bacon
I can
burger.
go make my own bacon burger.
Absolutely.
I can probably make my own Baconator better than Wendy's Baconator. So.
No doubt.
All right, congratulations, Empire, Star Wars, a little film that nobody's ever heard of happened to win this bracket. So hopefully it can have some notoriety. You know about it now.
I want to know. I think that there's going to be some pushback from people because you have to be a Star Wars fan, right, to enjoy this movie.
Honestly, you know what? Empire, I don't know that you have to be. I mean, it helps, definitely. But I think there's so much going on with Empire, self-contained in the movie, that I think if you're not a Star Wars fan, I think you could still appreciate it.
I personally know some non-Star Wars fans that listen to the podcast. I'm hoping that they'll give us some feedback on that.
Yeah, please let us know. We want your feedback.
But then, I mean, if we had chosen The Dark Knight, do you have to be a fan of
That's a good point.
Batman? I feel like it's less of.
I mean, let's look at this list: Top Gun, Maverick, Skyfall, Empire Strikes Back, Winter Soldier, Dark Knight, Christmas Vacation, Avengers, and Last Crusade. Are there any of these that you don't have? I think Christmas Vacation might be the only one that you don't have to have cared about the original at all.
I would say Skyfall.
You think? I mean, I guess it could stand alone, but I mean, it helped. I guess all the Bond movies are really just kind of standalones, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, there was some continuation in the Craig stories.
Yeah, most of his did
but
have some kind of
I think that they could also, you could watch it and enjoy it, I think.
But really, those are maybe...
Last Crusade might.
I guess Top Gun... let me see. Top Gun Maverick. Lauren did not watch Top Gun until after Top Gun Maverick.
Oh.
And so I think it was connected, but I don't know. They'll
They'll let us know, I'm sure.
They will. Hopefully.
the non-Star Wars fans.
Do you have anything else, Aaron?
I don't. I'm plumb out.
Plumb out. All right. Well, that'll do it then. Thanks for listening. Happy 2024, everybody. Looking forward to another great year. He says peace, or is that a hold up? I got two things.
I was going to say Mental Floss actually list. I was looking to see if they had Paddington 2 on their list, and they don't. But then I noticed at the top of their article, it says, if you're outraged at the conspicuous absence of, say, Paddington 2, you can upvote it on the full list. So that's one that I haven't seen. I got to go watch Paddington 2.
I guess so.
I may have to come back and retroactively say Paddington 2 is the greatest sequel of all time.
Maybe. According to some places.
We didn't even go to Ranker today, and I'm disappointed by that.
That's true.
Do you want to know what Ranker said before we leave?
Give me their top 8. Let's see how they match up with our top 8.
Number 8, John Wick 2.
Oh, help me, Rhonda.
7, Captain America Winter Soldier.
Okay.
6, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Goodness.
5, Godfather 2.
Okay.
Number 4, Aliens.
I saw Aliens on a few too.
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
Number 3, Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Number 2, The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Number 1, Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Wow. I need to rewatch Judgment Day. It's been a long time.
I've watched it in the last couple of years.
Really?
It was okay.
Yeah.
But the people are with us, though. Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and The Dark Knight in the top 3. So we're not that far off.
We're not far off.
We can't be that
no.
wrong.
I feel better.
Yep.
Okay, for the best things, I am Craig.
I'm Aaron.
We'll talk at you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Best Things Podcast. If you liked today's episode, subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening now. And remember, connect with us on the socials at Best Things Pod, and you may hear your take on an upcoming episode.